guys, welcome to episode 11. Today is Thursday, August 4th, 2016. This show is the Meta Meltdown, if you didn't know, and the Meta Meltdown is a weekly 20-minute podcast about the current meta in Hearthstone. Each week we'll focus on a specific deck. This week we're doing Standard Cthulhu Warrior, and we'll provide insight on how to pilot the deck in order to succeed on the ladder. My name is Dominic Silverddragn Nguyen, that's Silverddragn with 2 Ds and no O, and I have with me the man, the myth, the legend-ranked player, Nate Wolter. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, dude? Doing pretty well. Just excited to talk about some Cthulhu Warrior in WarriorStone. How about you?
I love WarriorStone, yeah. It's been really good. I had a week off for the few of you who follow the Meta Meltdown. But I'm
Tons.
back. Yeah, tons of people. I'm so sorry to disappoint you all, but I'm back today. It's all good. And then we're going to talk about personal Hearthstone news, what we've been up to. We have a Vicious Syndicate report we have to talk about, and of course the Tempostorm meta report. And then finally, I'm really excited, and I'm sure Nate is as well, the Cthulhu Warrior that he has hit Legend with, if you didn't pick up that little tidbit. Ah, what a boss. All right. So, Nate, besides Cthulhu Warrior, I assume you played that, what other decks did you play this week?
Yeah, so I don't know for whatever reason, but I played a lot of Miracle Rogue and different variations of it. I played like N'Zoth Miracle, and then I played like Reno Miracle, which was terrible. I wouldn't recommend trying that. Yeah, so I don't know why, but I guess I'm trying to get my 9th Golden Hero in Rogue, and I'm only 276 wins away.
So close.
Get that in a couple months.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
What about you?
I've been playing Cthulhu Warrior. I played the Tavern Brawl, which was pretty fun-ish, like, to start. And then I played Aggro Shaman, which was a terrible idea, because you're right, it's WarriorStone. WarriorStone is fun.
Shaman's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised the Reno Rogue doesn't work out too well, because you have the Shadowcaster with Reno, and you can just Reno like 3 times. But
it's just so memey. Like, you can do it 3 times, but you're not going to clear their board. You don't have like a Twisting Nether or anything. And you're just going to get punched in the face over and over.
For sure. No worries. Let's go over a lot of news, which been pretty stale. But of course it's been stale because KARAZHAN has been announced officially. And we get to talk about that next Thursday. But instead of Thursday, we'll be doing a show on Wednesday talking about the cards. Because at that point, all the cards will be released, and we'll talk about those, and then we'll all play KARAZHAN and not do a show on Thursday. So please tune in next Wednesday for our KARAZHAN deck feely touchy card thing. Yeah.
Suggestion report.
There you go. I love it.
Go with that.
There you go. And then in this final iteration of WarriorStone, because the meta will change, let's talk about Tempostorm's report. Nate, please take us through that.
Got it. All right. So in Tier 1, from 1 to 5, we have Dragon Warrior, Aggro Shaman, Token Druid, a.k.a. Yogg Druid. I'm not sure why that ever changed. I guess I didn't get the memo on that. Number 4 is Zulok, and number 5, Midrange Shaman. And then Tier 2 is Cthulhu Warrior at number 6.
Yep.
So, pretty standard. I guess I would agree. I don't know. You can pretty much interchange any of those except for Dragon Warrior. I think that's easily the best deck on the ladder right now, but the rest are just depends on the matchup, basically.
Yeah. Pretty standard, so standard it's cracking. Let's go into the Data Reaper report. Nate, I know. Take us through that as well.
Alrighty, so in the number 12th Data Reaper report, number 1, Dragon Warrior. And these are for all games played, by the way, not
just Legend.
Yeah, exactly. Number 1, Dragon Warrior at 53% win rate, Aggro Shaman at 52% win rate, Midrange Hunter at 52% win rate, Secret Paladin at 52% win rate, Token Druid, aka Yogg Druid at 52% win rate, which is Tier 1. And then we'll just jump down to Tier 2 at number 8. We have Cthulhu Warrior at 51% win rate. So it seems pretty, like that is correct, except the Secret Paladin is still in there. Even though no one was playing it when we did our review last week, we found out that less than 1% of people in all ranked games have been playing Secret Paladin.
Yeah.
So, but apparently the people that do play it have some success with it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, yeah, exactly. So I think the biggest difference between the two meta reports that we look at, Tempostorm assumes that you have a extremely competent pilot behind the decks, and then data report is purely data. So if you we watched Yogg Druid drop a bunch. That's because people found out that Yogg Druid is really good, started playing it, can't play it as well as the pros, dropped the win rate down a lot, but it's still a really good deck, still tier 1. So yeah, it's raw data, and we look at that. We have to remember that this is across the board. People's win rates will definitely vary a lot more than if you're depending on your skill level. So definitely look at that. If you're looking at the report. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of skill level, at legend rank, I thought this was applicable for this week.
For sure.
Cthulhu Warrior is actually the second highest winning rating deck behind Aggro Shaman at a 52% win rate.
There you go.
So at high ranks, it's super good right now, I think, because probably just a lot of aggro up there.
Makes sense. Yeah, because we just started the season, so makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But yeah, it's actually a really fun deck too. I was playing it, obviously. But yeah. Let's go through our Warrior notes and statistics. So Warrior as a whole was played 26.66% of all games on the ladder, so that's a lot. Not close to 90%, but a lot. Cthulhu Warrior was used 11.38% of all games across the board. So that's really good. It's a really, really fun deck. And as discussed, 51% almost exactly win percentage. So definitely a deck that you still need to think about your plays. I mean, it's not an auto winner by any chance. No decks are, but it's a really, really fun deck and definitely have a lot of things going for it. So let's go through the deck list real quick. Onto our left, if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube. Nate, you want to take us through the deck list?
Yep. All right, so 2 Executes, 2 Shield Slams, 2 Beckoner of Evils, 2 Fiery Wind Axes, 2 Slams, 1 Acolyte of Pain, 1 Brand Bronzebeard, 2 Disciples of Cthulhu, 2 Ravaging Ghouls, 2 Shield Blocks, 2 Cthulhu Chosen, 2 Brawls, 1 Justicar Trueheart, 1 Sylvanas Windrunner, 2 Ancient Shield Bearers, 1 Gorehowl, 1 Twin Emperor Veclor, 1 Doomcaller, and 1 Cthulhu.
Nice. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'll go. So I think it's a really, really fun deck. I think it's super optimized, and I did really well with it. I actually have the stats, but it's not like my other computer. So unfortunately, I don't have the stats. I just lied. But I do recall looking at the stats, and I have I think like a 70-80% win rate with it. But I played I played a lot of games too. So I did really, really well with it, and I lost with I got all my bad games out with my Aggro Shaman. I was like, man, I'm gonna go play Cthulhu Warrior and just wreck paces with this. It's really good too, cause I'll find myself dropping to 5 or 8 health, and then I'll do the Brand Ancient Shieldbearer combo, instantly pop it to 58 health, and be like, what are you gonna do now? Game's over, son. Just concede. But yeah.
Yes, look forward to talking about that combo here in a second. Brand and Ancient Shieldbearer. But for myself personally, I played this from about rank 3 to Legend. I was trying to cheese my way to Legend with Dragon Warrior, just mindlessly, and then I actually was going about 55% win rate, which was a little slow. So I switched to Cthulhu Warrior just for shits and giggles, and turned out to be pretty good. I went 15-7 to Legend at a 68.2% win rate.
It's really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is good. So let's talk about the overview. Do you want to take that one away?
Yeah, definitely. So what you're going to do really early is, of course, keep the board clear. That's what Warrior does. Fire Wind Axe is the best card in the game by, a large margin. And you just basically fatigue your opponent until they realize they're going to lose. It's kind of grindy, but it's a fun grind for you because you're playing the deck. It's really, really fun to watch yourself go from 8 health to 28 and then 48. And then drop Twin Veclors, and it's what are you gonna do now? And then Cthulhu is extremely really good. So that's your late win condition. Cthulhu and just a bunch of armor. You'll just fatigue your opponents. They can't do anything about it. You're gonna drop just a car, armor up every turn, and then they realize that there's no way that they can do that much damage. Other decks just don't pack enough damage to deal with your armor, and they don't pack enough damage to deal with all your late game threats. Especially with 2 Cthulhu's with the Doomcaller. So really, really good deck. That's how you'll do it. And let's talk about matchups now. So Nate, do you want to go through those real quick?
Yeah, so we have the good, the bad, and the ugly as usual, and this is actually the best that we've seen, I think, in terms of matchups. So good, above 55% win rate. We have Freeze Mage, I think that's close, like an 80% win rate, though that's just not even fair.
Yeah.
Tempo Mage, other control warrior, I think that's like Elise control warrior, and they use like bashes and stuff. Worgen OTK deck is the last one, and that, if you're not familiar with it, basically you Worgen, you Inner Rage, and then you Rampage, and then you just put a bunch of crap on them, and then you play your, help me out with the name of that other card. You duplicate them.
Yeah, duplicate the charge.
Faceless Manipulator.
Faceless Manip.
Yeah, and then so you have two of them, then you just deal like 60 damage. But if you get over 60 health, you basically just easily win with this deck. So those are the good matchups. Bad is Midrange Hunter and Reno Lock, which is between 35 and 45% win rate. And there are no ugly matchups. So this deck is super balanced, I should say. Balanced for you to be playing on the ladder.
Definitely.
But it's really demoralizing if you play against it when you're playing like an aggro deck. So...
It feels like you're playing like Reno, but you have 2 copies of the best cards in the game. It really does, right? Like you're popping that much health. So it's like really, really rewarding for you. It
feels so good.
It feels so good. But yeah, so let's talk about cards that stand out. Let's say the first couple.
Yeah, so the first one I had was Gore Howl. It's just really slow control weapon, and they just clear the board, which is the main objective as a warrior, control warrior, and so it's pretty basic. Doomcaller being the second one that I thought was a good standout card, because if you use your Cthulhu and they kill it, and then you just play Doomcaller again, or play Doomcaller and then you get your Cthulhu again, shuffle back into your deck, so that's great. And this one I'm really excited to talk about is Brand Bronzebeard. So a lot of people will make a mistake with Brand. They'll just play him on like turn 3, or they'll use him with like just a Disciple of Cthulhu. But a lot of people don't realize like a win condition with this deck, like Dom mentioned earlier, is not only Cthulhu but your armor. So if you can drop in the same turn, because it's 10 mana, Brand Bronzebeard and Ancient Shieldbearer, then you pretty much just win the game. That's 20 armor that they've worked so hard to just peel off you, and then you just, in one turn, you're 20 armor richer.
And you have 2
and then you also have a 2/4 and a 6/6. So,
yeah,
pretty nasty combo. And then, Dom, do you have any opinion on like which order we should use those in, as far as comboing with Brand?
Yeah, so I feel like it depends. I really, really like the armor. It depends on the situation. I think there was one game where I had both the Brand's Bondbeard and the Twin Emblem Veclor, as well as the Ancient Shieldbearer, and I was wondering which one I should do. And I honestly feel like if you're really low health, that you really need to pop up your health, because like sometimes they just have the damage in their hand, they're just waiting for it. And you can see too, like, you know, if they're hovering cards, like if they have like a bunch of cards in their hand and they're just hovering it, then you really want to pop off your health, and then you can play your taunts. I think most of the time, because you know, the name of the game is not to hit 1 health or hit 0 health. You want to pop off the Ancient Shieldbearer and then use your Veclord. But if you feel like you're exhausting their if you've exhausted their, like if you know they have brawls and you know they have board clears, then you definitely want to, you know, get your Veclors out, you know, so that, you know, oh sorry, that's not right. Get your Cthulhu out first with Brand, and then use your Doomcaller to call back your Cthulhu. So it depends on what you have in play. But did you have another opinion, Nate?
No, I think that pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's situational, of course, but Brand Bronzebeard with Ancient Shieldbearer is the best, except for Cthulhu, but you can't do that in the same turn. Right. Twin Emperor Veclor is, I would say, second best, unless you're going for like lethal the following turn. You can lay Brand, and then you can get 12 attack damage on turn, so not including Brand. And then Disciple of Cthulhu is really good too, because you can deal 4 damage to 1 target, and then you can buff your Cthulhu twice. And then a combo that a lot of people don't notice is Ravaging Ghoul with Brand, which is
really good.
Yeah, which deals 2 damage to all creatures twice. And then beyond that, the only other 2 left are Beckoner of Evil and Cthulhu's Chosen, which just does a double battle cry of buffing your Cthulhu. So those aren't nearly as powerful. So basically, in a nutshell, save your Brand for big combos unless you really need to use them otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like I said earlier, Doomcaller is really good. You definitely don't want to play him if you feel like your opponent has board clears or has a way to deal with your Cthulhu. So you play the Cthulhu, like it allows you to play your Cthulhu more like willy-nilly. You can just play it, Doom call it back. You know, it helps out in the late game as well. So
glad you mentioned that, actually.
Yeah, super strong
So
card.
Bran with Doomcaller, so you can shuffle 2 Cthulhu's back in your deck. But you can't do that on the same turn necessarily.
Broken. So. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Super broken. But yeah, but oftentimes like they can't even kill your Bran because you have like 3 taunts with your Twin Templar, with your Veclors out there. So I've got some like crazy, like some crazy games where like I have like Bran out for like 5, 6, 7, 8 turns, and it's like this game is awesome. This feels so good, and they don't concede. So yeah, it's a really bad time for them. Let's talk about tech choices then. Nate, do you want to go through those as well?
Sure. So Revenge, that's just a typical warrior card. It's good for, if you're playing a lot of Zoo, you can play Revenge. If they get you down to low health right away, then you can just do like a whirlwind effect and deal 3 damage to everything. Bash, just pretty good card, but not really room in here since you're using other 3 drops like Disciple of Cthulhu.
Right.
Harrison Jones, if you're seeing a lot of warriors, which I imagine you are, at least 1 in every 4 games.
True.
At least Starseeker, some people like to tech that in if you are anticipating like a really long game. And then Emperor Thorson, a lot of people swear by this card in Cthulhu because you can pull off some other sick combos with Bran, and then you can, again, like a Doom Caller in the same turn, and then you can shuffle 2 Cthulhu's in your deck, or you can play your other cards sooner, obviously. But oh yeah, and I did miss one. Baron Geddon 2. I know Life Coach used that one in the Seed Story Cup.
Yes, he did.
So, but I chose, and the deck that we are using this week actually chose to use another Brawl as well, which I think is more relevant to laddering. I think Baron Geddon was pretty good for the tournament that he was using, obviously, because he won. So, yeah, those are the tech choice cards. Do you have any opinions on those?
Yeah, so I completely agree with taking out Baron Geddon for the ladder and using 2 Brawls. You'll often see, sometimes you'll see like Nazoth, right? And then, so you have, like, they'll wait for you to Brawl first, and then, you know, you Brawl because it gets too out of hand, and then they drop their Nazoth, and you're like, thanks, buddy! And you Brawl again, and it's over. That's it. You know, like, they forget, because they think sometimes, you know, they might expect you to have Baron Geddon, because Life Coach's deck was so popular, because a lot of people just take decks from tournaments and they just run them on ladder, and then they realize like, shoot, this deck doesn't perform as well, or you know, like I'm not Life Coach, like you know. So definitely think about your tech choices based on the people you're playing against, and we definitely feel like Brawl is a lot better for the ladder. So yeah, definitely look at the decks to the left, and you know, make a couple adjustments if you need to, but it's a really fun and really disgusting deck. To definitely play. So I want to go over the starting hand mulligans, and I'm going to talk about aggro, and then Nate will talk about the control matchup. Yeah.
Perfect.
So for aggro, you definitely want Beacon of Evil. That's like really good and helps buff your Cthulhu. You have to get your Cthulhu to 10. Like you have to do it, because if you don't, you're forced to play like Doomcaller, because if you don't draw you know, anything else, and you play Doomcaller just to get your Cthulhu to 10, it like feels super bad. Beacon of Evil is really good. Fiery Gwinax, I don't have to sing the praises. There are tons of bards out there singing praises of the Fiery Gwinax. Slam is really good. It helps you with your executes in case something gets out of hand. And your Disciple of Cthulhu is like disgusting, because there's no way for, you know, there's no like really efficient way for anyone to deal with your Disciple of Cthulhu. So you definitely want to get those out there as well. It's really strong. It basically just replaces, you know, the Shredder that fell out of Standard. So, oh, and the last one, Ravaging Ghoul, that's really good. Helps you again with your executes. And if you got your Bran, if you're in a super desperate situation, you can Bran and then Ravaging Ghoul to clear the board. But again, we talked about Bran, how good that is in the late game. It's definitely more of a win condition to use Bran later. But yeah, that's what you want for the starting hand. Definitely shoot for that Fiery Winx, Beacon of Evil, and Cthulhu, Disciple of Cthulhu. Nate, what do I do for control?
All right, sir. Against control, depending on what you're playing, of course, this is typically what I would keep. Shield Slam, because you can build up your armor pretty easily without them dropping anything early game. Fiery Winx, sorry. Early on, of course. Beckoner of Evil, just because it's a nice 2-drop. Disciple of Cthulhu, just because it's 3-drop that you can obviously deal 2 damage with right away as a battle cry. Cthulhu's Chosen. Again, I would use that one here only if you have a good curve already. So if you have Fiery Wind Axe and then Disciple of Cthulhu, then you can keep Cthulhu's Chosen. And then the last one I have is Justicar Trueheart. So if you're playing like a mirror match, Cthulhu Warrior matchup, it's going to be super amazing to get that right away and just drop it on turn 6, and then you can get a lot more armor than your opponent right away. So yeah, it's pretty basic. Usually you just want to look for some good 2-drops and Beckoner of Evil and Fiery War Axe, and then from there on just try to curve out as best as possible.
Yeah, Justicar is really, really good. You definitely want that card like as soon as possible in control matchups. Like sometimes it's decided like if you have the mirror matchup, whoever drops Justicar first wins. Especially like if you're playing mirror matchups or another control warrior. So Justicar Trueheart is definitely something like you would definitely consider keeping in your opening hand if you know for sure the control. But yeah, definitely. Any last thoughts on this deck, Nate?
Go play it, guys. It's super good right now. I especially love it playing against Dragon Warrior and all the Aggro Shaman on ladder. That's pretty much where I got all my success from at the end of the month last month. So give it a whirl and see what you guys think.
Give it a whirl. Maybe 2 if you've got, your combo. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Thank you for everyone who watches and downloads our podcast. We definitely 100% appreciate you. Definitely let us know how you feel about how we did this week. And let us know how you do with the deck. Shout out again to our moderator, Ritual Plays. And you can find our deck list and any previous shows at metameltdown.com. Next week, like I said, we're going to have our show on Wednesday because we want to play KARAZHAN on Thursday night. And since the meta will be changing, we'll just be discussing what cards we think will be, will have the biggest impact. What you want to shoot for when you're opening those packs. I'm definitely going to have, it's not an expansion. It's a
adventure.
Adventure. So we'll talk about what cards we think will do really well, and hopefully we'll see what we get. So. If you get certain cards on Thursday and we talked about them on Wednesday, then those are the cards you're going to look to swap out into your deck. So that's what we'll be doing next week. And again, you can find us at twitch.tv/metameltdown next Wednesday at 7 p.m. PST. And if you want to find us on Twitter, YouTube, it's at the MetaMeltdown. Our YouTube is MetaMeltdown. And our email is metameltdownpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you again for everyone. And Nate, any last words?
Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you next week for the card review.
See you guys.